Well, welcome back. Since starting her Ladybug Foundation 5 years ago, Hannah Taylor has been pretty busy. Recently, she started a second charity, the Ladybug Foundation Education Program, a school curriculum to inspire other young people to make change in the world. She also began National Red Scarf Day. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Hannah Taylor. 3 years ago, I saw a man eating out of a garbage can. No one should have to do that. That's why I need your help. My hope is that people will wrap these scarves around their necks and be reminded that the homeless need us to wrap our hearts around them. These scarves are made with the Ladybug logo and a reminder note on the other side, so that we'll always remember who need us the most. Purchase a red polar fleece scarf and all proceeds go to the Ladybug Foundation.
And Skyping me from her home in Winnipeg is Hannah Taylor. Welcome to the show, Hannah.
Thank you very much.
We just saw the video for National Red Scarf Day. Why did you decide to start National Red Scarf Day?
Well, actually, I came up with the idea for Ladybug Red Scarves one day. I think I was around 8 or 9. And I live in Winnipeg, and it was during the winter, so it was extremely cold, and I was playing outside. And I came inside, because it was cold, my mom put a scarf around my neck. And a scarf kind of feels like a hug, and it got me to thinking. And so I asked if we could make Ladybug Red Scarves to remind people, just like you wrap a scarf around your neck, to wrap your hearts around the homeless. And then National Red Scarf Day came about 2 years later. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could have a day when everyone's invited to wear their red scarves, to most importantly remind the homeless people that we care about them and we want to make a change in their lives. So National Red Scarf Day was born, and it's on January 31st every year. And it was actually, we launched it from Parliament Hill. I believe it was 2 years ago, and I believe it was the first time ever that in the House of Commons and in the Senate that the same announcement was made on the same day, and there were so many red scarves worn in Ottawa that day. I wish that all the people who were homeless could have seen it.
I want to backtrack a bit. The Ladybug Foundation, where did you get the name Ladybug? Do you like ladybugs? I
do. They are my favorite bug. But ladybugs are good luck, and we need good luck helping homeless people, and homeless people also need good luck in their lives. So that's how Ladybug became our mascot.
And where did you get the idea to use jars to collect money? Where did that come from?
Well, that was one of our first fundraisers. We also now have Ladybug Foundation bracelets and the scarves and many other things. But when I was younger, when I was little, I would go around to different, stores or schools and things like that, and I'd see tins collecting spare change for charities. And I thought, I don't have any tins, but I do have tons of baby food jars for my sister. Who was only a year or so at the time. And so at the beginning, what my mom would do is we'd put it through the dishwasher, and then we'd spray paint them red in my garage. But we didn't realize that spray paint actually travels, and so the entire half of my dad's car turned pink. My bike was pink. It looked like our garage had chicken pox. But after that, we would decorate it like a ladybug. And then we would bring them to different schools and, businesses, anywhere that they would like to have a place to put their spare change in for the homeless.
You mentioned some of the one of the minor obstacles for your work was turning your garage pink. Certainly you know better than a lot of people the serious problem of homelessness in Canada. Do you ever think the problem is too enormous for you to do anything about?
I don't think that any problem is too enormous if we take it on together. I think that it's a big issue, but I think that one of the biggest things is we can't view those who are homeless as problems. They're people. And I think that that's one of the complex part of this issue, that you're dealing with real people. And something to remember is that, they're incredibly brave. They spend every day and, just to survive. They have to be courageous and brave to survive. And I think that, I don't think it's impossible. I think that there's a lot of work to do, but together we can do it.
What happens to the money that you raise? You've raised a lot of money over the last 5-6 years. Where does all the money go?
Well, we've raised actually over $2 million. We support over 45 different shelters and missions and food banks across Canada. And there's a certain amount of money that we can actually give out a month. And then once it is sent out to certain charities, the charities we support, then they decide, depending on what the people they help need, they decide what to do with the money.
And what do your friends think about your Ladybug Foundation and all your other organizations?
Well, I have a wonderful, wonderful group of friends, and they knew me before Ladybug Foundation, and they're incredibly, incredibly supportive. And I'm a very lucky person.
And speaking of lucky, you we just saw in some of the video traveling, right across Canada with all these different foundations and all the work that you do. Who helps you? I suspect you have very helpful parents and grandparents. Where do you get all the support from to do all this work?
Well, of course, since I am only 14 when I'm traveling, of course I'm traveling with a parent. I have a beautiful, beautiful family, and I'm so lucky to have them. I love them to pieces. And, I remember my little sister when she was in diapers up on our kitchen table from Ladybug jars sorting out all the pennies when she was like 2. And so I have a beautiful family, and I get support that way and through my friends, and yeah.
Tell me about Big Boss Lunches. Where did that idea come from, and what is it?
Well, when I was younger and Ladybug Foundation was just getting started, actually when I was very young, to backtrack a little bit, I thought that my dad was the big boss of all of Winnipeg. As I got older, I realized that, there are also other big bosses in Canada. So I would take a big boss out to lunch, and I'd tell them about Ladybug Foundation, about those who are homeless and, how to help. But then one day I came home from one of these lunches, and I said, wouldn't it be great and a lot easier as well to take a whole group of big bosses and bring them to lunch and be able to tell them, how to help and tell them about Canadian homelessness. And also, one person can make a difference, but together we can make an even bigger difference. So the Big Boss Lunches began when I was 9, and our first one was held in Winnipeg, but we've now had them in all different sorts of cities across Canada. And I believe we've had more than 5 now.
And tell me about this education program. Speaking of getting other people involved and to help you out, what's the educational program you've just started, the second charity?
Well, something to begin with the story of how it got started.
Yeah.
When I would go to schools and I would speak, one of the best things ever, one of my favorite parts is when you see that light bulb go on in a child's head. And, it's like, if she can do it, I can do it too. And I'm just a regular kid, but I've had tons of chances to make a difference, and I want all children to have those chances. And so the Ladybug Foundation, it's an education program. It fits under all subjects, and it can be taught from kindergarten to grade 12. There's a different idea or a different type of lesson for each grade. And it's got original music, original software, a website, and tons more for use in schools across Canada. We're working on it being translated into French as well, because we are a bilingual country. And I think that, the biggest thing about it is it inspires kids that no matter how young they are, they can make a difference. And that they can make a difference in anything. It uses the Ladybug Foundation as an example, but it depends on what you're passionate about, whether it be the environment or endangered species of animals. You can use the education program as a way to get started.
Speaking of homelessness, one of the reasons why some people don't choose not to help is because they're afraid of homeless people, that they think that they're dangerous. And, I think some people would say that homeless people are dangerous. I mean, do you ever get scared that you're going to be hurt when you're with homeless people?
I don't get scared, no, because I've never been afraid, because homeless people are great people, wrapped in old clothes with sad hearts. And I'm still a young person. And so I always have a parent or someone I trust with me, whether I'm at a mall or a homeless shelter, because strangers are strangers, homeless or not. And so, you have to be careful on any new person that you meet, but you don't need to be afraid of them. Just like anyone, they need your love and care the very most. And so to be afraid is, it's way harder. I think that one of the part of when someone is afraid, I think it's more not understanding, because misunderstanding brings about, fear. And so I think that you just have to remember that they're great people, wrapped in old clothes with sad hearts. But you also have to remember that strangers are strangers. You have a trip, hoping to have a trip coming up to South Africa. Can you tell me about that? Yes. Actually, I was part of something called the World Children's Prize for the Rights of the Child. And I'm on a jury with about 14 other children from all over the world who are either working for children's rights or have suffered from children's rights infractions in their part of the world. And out of 3 candidates every year who are also working for children's rights, we decide which one gets an award, and then the award is a cash prize for their organization. but the children on the jury, they're like my brothers and sisters. And, some of these children, they're child soldiers and children who are refugees. And there's one girl who's named Hava, and she was my roommate last April when we went. And I call her my African sister, and she's so, so special to me. And she lives in South Africa. And while we were there this year, since it was their 10th anniversary, they brought back all previous winners, and they were all possible candidates for this year's prize. And so the winner this year was Nelson Mandela and Graça Machel. And Graça Machel came to Sweden to accept the prize on behalf of Mr. Mandela and herself. And I got to spend the afternoon with her, and it was such an honor and so amazing. And while we were meeting with each other, I really, really hope to go and, see Hava again in South Africa. And one of the greatest parts of this program is that you're part of it until you're 18, because then you're considered an adult. So I get to see all my brothers and sisters from all over the world for many years to come. But when I do go to South Africa, I was invited to stay with Mr. Mandela and Miss Machel. Miss Machel invited me while we were meeting with each other. I'm so, so excited, and I hope I get to go, or hope I'm able to go in 2011.
Hannah, you seem extremely mature for a 14-year-old girl. Where do you think your maturity comes from?
Oh, that's very nice of you. Thank you. Well, I've always been told from my Nana and other people that I've met. My Nana's my grandma and one of my heroes, but I've always been told I'm kind of an old soul. I love antiques and tea and all sorts of things like that, antiques especially because they all have a story. But I think that I've had many chances and, many ways to meet amazing, amazing people. And I learned so much from all of them. And so I think that, if I am to be called mature, it would come from the people I've met. Thank you.
If someone is watching right now and wants to find out more information about Ladybug and homelessness in Canada, do you have a website or where they can go to get involved?
I do. Ladybugfoundation.ca. You can find there. We also have a link to our education program website. There are many things on there. You can actually learn how to make your own ladybug jar if you'd like. Also information about the places we support and many other things if you'd like to get more information.
Well, thanks very much for your time today, Hannah. I appreciate it, and good luck with all your work.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
You too.
Well, that's it for this edition of At Issue for Teens. You can go to our website, ichannel.ca, to watch this entire episode online. Just click on Video Demand and At Issue for Teens. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook and email your thoughts to comments@ichannel.ca. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. Thanks for watching.
What if we could feed the hungry? What if there was shelter from the cold? We would carry one another, equally respect the young and old. What if every homeless one could find a place called home, and no one that was lonely would have to be alone? I'm gonna stop the talking and make a change. What if we could care for the confused? If we protect the unprotected and build a place that's safe for the abused? And what if we could love the ones that work out on the streets? Comfort every child that is afraid to go to sleep. I'm gonna stop the talking and make a change.